Buonasera, buonasera, buonasera. Benvenuti in questa live serale horror. Vi ricordo come sempre che c'è online in questo momento. C'è Pokémon con 4 chiacchiere solo umido con Counter-Strike Global Defense. No, Global Offensive. Proposta Ubisoft con For Honor. Frozen con Pokémon Legend Arceus. It's Learning con Dead by Daylight. Emulare che passione con giochi retro. Gabriel Domino retro. Pero Gigio con Dark Souls. Bertin con Pokémon Legend Arceus. 4 chiacchiere. Constantine con 4 chiacchiere. Non dovrebbe iniziare 4 anni insieme. Ecco cos'è che c'ha. C'ha il suo compleanno. Quindi dopo andremo da lui. Kate con Identity 5. Molto bene, molto bene. Allora. Cosa facciamo? Cosa facciamo? Gioco. No, prima devo fare questo. No, questo qui e questo qui. Gioco vecchio, non così vecchio, ma così. Andiamo e avviamo il gioco. Sì, gli audio sono tutti attivi e avviamo Black Mirror 2. Ok. Attenzione, l'audio può essere alquanto alto. Richiamo la partita. Mm, dovrebbe essere questo. E questo è il nostro ultimo salvataggio. E
An old-fashioned telephone. It's probably meant to be classic, but to be
è solo
honest,
vecchio.
it's just old. Who should I call? Angelina checked in here and is staying in room 13. The guest book probably can't tell me much more.
Ok. Mm.
One of the keys belongs to Angelina's room. It's number 13. but I can't get my hands on it while Murray's standing at the counter. One of the keys belongs to Angela. What else can you tell me about Angelina?
Don't know. Nice girl. Seems to be out a lot. Always went off for a couple of hours, then back to her room, then out again.
Did you notice anything? Was she nervous? Afraid?
No, not really. She seemed to be a bit stressed. Tense. And always in a hurry. That's just what young people are like.
Did you call the police when she didn't come back last night?
Why should I? She paid up front, everything's fine.
Oh yeah, everything's fantastic. She might be bleeding to death in the woods or in the hands of violent kidnappers. But she paid up front.
Calm down. Nothing will have happened to her. Absolutely nothing's happened here for 12 years.
Va bene.
Unfortunately.
What did you say this building used to be?
The old Ashbury Sanatorium. The legendary, the gruesome, the unfathomable sanatorium of the crazy Robert Golden.
I see.
Sir Robert was Samuel Golden's uncle on his father's side. He lived in the castle and was, of course, like all Gordons, completely insane. He conducted experiments on the patients here in the sanatorium. Illegal experiments. Terrible experiments.
And no
Oh.
one noticed.
He mostly did it at night, alone. He only had one accomplice in the village, Dr. Herman. Both were murdered before their schemes were uncovered. But strange things have been happening since their deaths. People claim to have seen spectral apparitions in these corridors, and sounds that come out of the ground.
Sure, and that's probably written large on the front of your flyers, right? A couple of ghosts would surely be good for business. It's just a shame it's absolute moonshine. What can you tell me about this place?
Willow Creek, it's the nest in which I was born, just like all the others you see around here. No one moves to here. Either you're born here and stay, or you're born here and leave. It can't keep hold of the youngsters anymore. They want to be in the city. The place is dying out.
Is there anything special to see here?
The museum, of course. I was significantly involved in setting it up. It's
Okay.
even on my land, which I've leased for a small, appropriate fee, of course. Go into the village. You won't miss it. We set it up once the flow of tourists dried up. You need to offer the people something, after all. We redesigned the rear part of the museum last year. Now it's got a lot more zip. It was my idea. None of the other people in the village have got any idea about business.
And
You have to speculate to accumulate. You're not going to attract tourists with a couple of clay pots and carpets, are you?
how can you attract tourists?
With a show! You need to give them something. We've got 5 gruesome murders here, an old family full of maniacs, a dark
Okay.
curse. There must be some capital in that.
Doesn't seem to have worked all that well so far.
Alas, no. Many didn't get involved. Said you should let the dead rest in peace. We won't get anywhere like that.
Of course not.
Okay.
During the first few months after the murders, it was looking really good. The papers wrote about our murders all the time. Loads of free publicity. They came from all over. Buses full. But then, well, the hype died down.
Ooh, how tragic. Hey, perhaps a couple of people should be killed every season. Then you'll get more press.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about it. You haven't invested all your savings. But I'll have the last laugh. This place is gonna be on the up again.
Ok. Black Mirror.
What's
Vediamo un
that
po' cosa
castle
dice.
out there on the hill?
That's the famous Black Mirror Castle, ancestral home of the Golden family. There are few buildings here that have a history as fascinating and blood-soaked.
Why, what happened there?
What didn't happen there, more like? Every imaginable abomination. Murder, torture, witch burning, dark rituals, devil worship. everything.
Yeah, sure. And that's not just what you tell the tourists to make this place more interesting.
Well, perhaps it's not quite that bad, but what the people say is true. That castle is cursed. That much is certain.
Cursed.
Just look at the latest events alone. Around 25 years ago, there was a fire in the castle, and Master Samuel lost his young wife in the flames. 12 years ago, the eldest Gordon committed suicide. He jumped from the castle tower. After that came Robert's murder and Samuel's suicide. The last surviving Gordon is Lady Victoria. She's already about 90. When she dies, one of the oldest families in England dies with her.
Sounds like bad luck, but not necessarily a curse.
It is. The castle is cursed. It makes the people crazy. How else are you going to explain one Gordon after the other completely losing it?
Some mental illnesses are hereditary. And if it's an old noble family, incest may also play a role.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or natural radioactivity, or poisonous groundwater. That's all far-fetched. It's a curse.
Va
Everyone
bene.
knows that.
Più plausibile è una maledizione
What's that then?
che altre cose.
A soul key?
They are powerful, magical artifacts. After the murders 12 years ago, the police seized documents from the castle. Amongst them were also pictures of these soul keys. Samuel Golden must have been nigh on obsessed by them. The police believe that Samuel had several of them.
Perhaps the devil himself gave him the order to do it.
Perhaps. What's for certain is that he killed for it, and that the keys, assuming they ever existed, disappeared when he committed suicide.
And what has that got to do with this plastic trash?
That's no trash. Do you know how expensive it was to produce thousands of these and ship them here? Pal, that cost me a fortune.
Thousands! How many have you sold?
Put it this way, I won't need to reorder in the near future. Even though they're so fantastic. Well, they even light up when you put a battery in them.
Oh, awesome.
Va bene.
Couldn't you perhaps give me Angelina's room key?
If you buy the hotel and let me retire, then we can talk about it.
And if I forget a 50-pound note on the counter, would you go outside to look at the pretty pictures on it in the daylight?
Young man, this is a quality hotel. I can't and won't allow its reputation to be damaged.
No one will notice. There's not a soul here.
You can't bribe me, and that's that.
Thanks for the chat, Murray.
My pleasure.
Ok.
Voila, a bottle of alcohol.
Non so minimamente cosa fare.
A newspaper. First off, I had to have a look here in the hotel for signs of Angelina's whereabouts. Going straight into the village without any kind of plan doesn't strike me as being a good idea.
E ci possiamo
A
muovere.
big heap of wet leaves. A gardener must have raked them together from off the lawn. A steel-framed conservatory. It's quite obvious that it's a newer addition to the rest of the building. There's a few tables and chairs.
Non posso andare più in là? No, ci speravo.
That pile's not been. That pile's not been. Why should I pour away the last good drops? That pile's not been. There's no way I could light this heap with a match on it. There's no way I could light this heap with a match on its own. The leaves underneath are too damp as well. A match. I might as well pour the alcohol into my pocket. No, I'm not doing it. I've got the crumpled newspaper in the middle, next to the leaves which aren't so wet. The newspaper's lit. The leaves next to it are just charring. They're not gonna burn, they're too damp for that. Murray, there's smoke outside. I hope the hotel isn't gonna burn down around our heads.
Bugger! Oh!
As long as Murray's outside putting out the...
Pia tutti.
Now we'd like to have that. The key for room number 13. Hopefully I might find some evidence of Angelina's whereabouts in her room.
Ok.
Those little brats. They've no idea how dangerous that is. They should...
the young are really bad.
Fatta. Mm.
Nothing special. A typical hotel bathroom, like you can find all over the world.
Che bel televisore.
Let's see. A few clothes hangers, a clothes rail, a few drawers. Everything empty and squeaky clean. Also, when I look inside...
È una sua foto.
What's that? One of the pictures I took of Angelina. That's gotta be a clue for me. So it is. There are a few white notes on the back of the picture. A completely normal tube TV, like most folks have at home. Should I sit... A little cupboard. Looks rather like an antique. And inside there's...
I cuori?
Huh. Sleeping potion. Now could that be Angelina's? Maybe she was having nightmares from all that business. What the hell have I gotten her into?
No? Proprio sonniferi.
Interesting. Several cut lemons, and
Mhm.
there's a sliver of wood stuck in one of them. She didn't eat the lemons, that much is clear. A thick-walled but relatively squat. A thick-walled but The glass is half full. The glass is half full of alcohol. The glass is half full. The glass is half.
Hmm.
Let's see. There, you can see a black script. Of course, a real old trick. Angelina must have used lemon juice to write with. The heat makes the clear juice turn black. Ouch!
Yes.
Ah, damn it. The match is burned out and there's only a tiny corner of the text that's turned visible. That can't work. No matter if... Better not. There are only 2 matches left in the matchbox, and there's no way I'd ever be able to make the whole message visible with them. I need something that's gonna burn for longer. A small, even flame, or else I'm gonna set fire to the paper by mistake. The glass is half full of alcohol, or half empty. A thick, heavy, and very old-fashioned bedspread. There are woolen threads around the edges. I can't take the cover, but I can take the wooden thread as a souvenir. It wouldn't be the first time something like that had come in useful.
Ok. MacGyver.
Great. The woolen thread is acting like a wick and soaking up the alcohol. Looks like I've rediscovered the world's oldest artificial light source.
Mamma mia, che fiamma.
Awesome. My little fire's lit. It was working like that 10,000 years ago, too. Now what do I do with it? So, let's see. Ah, at last. There's Angelina's message. Sunday, 1600. I don't know what's supposed to be so special
about Willow Creek. It all seems so forlorn, poor, and desolate. Hopefully I won't have to disappoint Darren. He's helped me so much, and I only now hope that I can help him too. Sunday, 9 p.m. That Porter Murray is a damned shark. He had money off me for every single bit of info. I'm not doing that again. I'll go to the library tomorrow, and there's supposed to be a town museum too. Maybe I'll pick
Allora,
up something
vediamo
there
un
about
po'.
Darren's castle. Monday,
Niente
11 a.m.
di
Black Mirror was built in the
informazioni
14th
utili
century by the 2 brothers, Marcus and
sul
Mordred
primo
Gordon.
foglio.
The brothers argued
Il
and virtually
secondo.
waged war with each other. To this day, descendants of the Gordon line still inhabit Black Mirror Castle. They will, however, soon die out. The last young Gordon died 12 years ago, having committed suicide. Monday, 2 p.m. I've got something on the tree symbol that Darren discovered on Boris's ring. The symbol is mentioned in the Chronicle of the Gordon family.
No.
I also stumbled across it in the library. It's the symbol of a secret society, a kind
Niente
of
di
sect
utile
that wants to
se
summon up
non
dark
per il fatto
powers
di
and
avere
uses corpses in the
un
process.
simbolo.
What if Boris is one of them? Monday, 4 p.m. I found out in the pub people believe there's a curse on Blackmere Castle and the Gordon family. Maybe I'll change the topic of my degree thesis. I'd much rather write about accursed castles, though I can't see my good Prof. Hubbard being too thrilled about the idea. Monday, 9 p.m. He's here. Reginald Boris is
Ok,
here in Willow Creek. I've just seen him sneaking about the hotel. What should I do?
quindi Reginald
Is he here because
Boris
of
è
me?
qua.
Now, of all times, right when I
Lei
want to investigate the passage. I'm not
ha
going to let myself be
inviato,
stopped, but I'll send off some insurance.
ha inviato la sua assicurazione sulla vita a qualcuno, cioè suppongo a noi.
Oh man. Reginald Boris. Angelina had been doing some research, and Boris had caught her at it. Now, he's holding her prisoner, and... Does he want to lure me to him? In Maine, he wanted to take me on a journey. Is this all about me? Whatever the reason for all this might be, Angelina doesn't have anything to do with it. She's got into danger because she wanted to help me. It's my fault if something happens to her. I ought to go into the village and listen around. Angelina was there. But I need to be careful. I don't know who might belong to this order that Angelina warned me about.
Ok,
The bed looks old, but I really can't allow...
saluto termosifoni.
There's nothing in my room. No.
Proviamo ad andare a Willow Creek.
We all know that old one.
What do you mean?
A young, attractive lady is carrying a stack of books and lets them fall at the feet of the hero.
Excuse me? I'm the librarian here, so it's quite right that I should be carrying books around the place. Young?
Bibliotecaria.
Attractive? Well, I'll accept that. But why do you consider yourself to be a hero?
You're the librarian? Oh, then you can definitely tell me something worth knowing about this place, Miss,
Valley. You're American?
Valley.
Darren Michaels. Do I really sound American?
Oh yes, now let me see. Your accent is non-rhotic. That is, you don't sound the phoneme R at the end of a syllable,
Right.
or before consonants. And you have hard A sounds. That's the famous Boston accent.
Come?
Awesome! I really do come from Boston.
I've spent half
Boston.
my life in books, so something has to have stuck.
So then you can probably tell a damn Yankee something about Willow Creek?
What do you want to know?
Well, is there anything about Willow Creek that's worth knowing?
Not a lot. There must have been a settlement there for a good 1,000 years or so. They found remains dating back that far.
Yeah, a stone circle in a forest. So I've heard.
Yes, there's one of those. It really only kind of got going
Okay.
around the 13th century when there was a monastery built in the neighborhood. Also a church and the first part of a castle.
And more recently?
You're talking about the murders. That's 12 years ago now. Let's not talk about those. That's the obligatory village pub. It never was
Okay.
a great place, but since the old landlord left, it really has gone downhill. The new landlord is Tom. The chap at the chili stall. The fair will be here for a few more days yet, but I wouldn't bet that it'll be coming back again.
I'm staying at the Gordon's Palace Hotel.
Really? You're letting yourself get ripped off by that old so-and-so Murray?
The building is supposed to have had a terrible past.
That's true.
It would seem that all of the male Gordons were a little bit crazy.
The
Crazy.
curse of the Gordons.
Please don't tell me you believe in all that hokum.
I never used to.
You English. You like your ghost stories and all that a little too much.
Due passi. Sul ponte. 1000.
Back there by the town hall is my empire, the library. Perhaps it's because there's otherwise so little going on here. There are plenty of people who like to and who do read a lot. Sadly,
Okay.
often all the wrong things. Trashy stuff and the cheapest pulp lit are in high demand.
The castle nearby, isn't that the famous Black Mirror Castle?
It certainly is. Its inhabitants have influenced things around here for centuries. Sometimes for the good, sometimes rather more negatively.
How do you mean that?
Everything around here belongs to the Gordons.
Ah,
In the old days, virtually everything that went on here was all decided in the castle. Just what could happen in the village, and what could not.
And who lives in the castle today?
Lady Victoria Gordon, the last of the Gordons,
ah.
her old butler Bates, and her late brother's widow, Lady Eleanor. I think there are a few other servants too.
C'era una vedova oltre a loro.
That's the museum. If you want to know more about Willow Creek, then that's the place to be. At least in the front bit.
What's in the back?
The newly opened Black Museum. Cheap special effects animation. Horror and titillation at others' expense.
Bene.
What's wrong with the Black Museum? Why should you get so wound up about it?
It's not about informing people. Nothing to do with knowledge. It's about putting blood and suffering on display.
I'm afraid that's what folks are interested in.
Because they want to gawk. These are the same people who would rather photograph an accident than help out.
Ah,
They don't share in any of the misfortunes of those behind the spectacle.
Can you help me with the symbol? A tree where the roots reach around and up into the branches. That mean anything to you?
Where do you know that from?
You know something about it?
You ought to forget about it again as soon as possible.
I stumbled across it in Maine, and now I'd like to know if it...
Maine? You come... But you said Boston. I've still got something to finish. Good day.
ok.
Miss Valley, listen!
Si è caccata sotto questa.
And she's gone. What was that all about?
The flight was supposed to be cheap, but the airport is in the middle of nowhere. The taxi here was more expensive than a private jet.
Calm down, Albert.
And on top of that, your friend's guidebook is totally out of date.
You were happy that we didn't have to buy one. No one could have guessed that so much would change here within a few years.
Yeah. Just shut up, okay?
Va bene. Muscoli.
Postcards, brochures, and advertisements from Willow Creek.
Bobby.
A god. He looks a bit simple-minded. Hi, are you the god here?
Oh, hello. My name is Bobby.
Oh, hello, Bobby. I'm Darren.
Hi, Darren.
What can you tell me about the museum?
I think it's nice. I don't really like it back there, though. It's so spooky.
Do lots of people visit?
Yes. So sometimes 5 or 6 a day.
Oh. Has anyone ever broken in?
No, I keep watch.
Nights as well?
No, there's an alarm.
Okay.
Are you the god here, Bobby?
Yes, I have to make sure that everything runs ship shape here.
An important job.
Yes, Mrs. Puft at the town hall gave me the job because I'm so big and strong.
Of course. No one would mess with you, right?
No, I'm very happy that I can work here. Tom says I'm too stupid, but Mrs. Puff says I'll do a good job.
Tom from the chili stand over there? Oh, you shouldn't worry about what he says.
Okay.
But he's my brother. He looks after me, and I'm a big burden, he says.
What does Tom do for you that makes you such a burden?
Oh, he does a lot. I'm allowed to stay at his place and help in the pub.
Does he pay you?
No, Tom doesn't have much money. He says I cost too much because I eat too much. But now I give him the money that I get here, then it's perhaps not so bad anymore.
He takes all of your money so you can live at his place. I don't find that fair.
It's okay. It's better than having to do those other things.
Ah,
okay?
cosa faceva?
What kind of things?
He used to make me help him doing bad things. I don't like it. I'm a god. Gods can't steal.
Okay.
Tom stole things and you had to help him.
Oh, no. No, I didn't say that. Oh, no.
Bobby, it's okay. I didn't hear a thing.
Thank you, Darren.
All right, I'm out of here. See you around.
See you soon, Darren.
Un barile di barile.
A barrel, like the ones all over the village. I guess there used to be a blossoming barrel industry here. An old cast iron stove. Does that belong to the exhibition? I doubt it. Reminds me of my mom. A broken display cabinet. Nothing in it, of course. It says Black Ball of Destiny on the sign. Alright, I'm apparently standing right next to Samuel's corpse. Other than that, there's nothing here. I don't really understand why there's a globe here. I bet most of the people here haven't even seen the neighboring village, let alone the rest of the world. And here, you can see the world-famous milk churns of Willow Creek. Yay, a treasure chest! I found the treasure! Now I'm rich! That's just a stupid empty chest. Looks like a cross between a Roman chariot and a lawnmower. I study physics. not agriculture. I have no idea what that is.
Allora, vedere un po', questo qui fa arare il terreno.
Eddie would have fun with this shelf. There are normal
Ora
plates,
cogliere patate,
painted
insomma.
plates,
Quelle cose lì.
decorated plates,
Ciao GD.
and glasses with
Ma, allora,
foil. I don't really want to know
tranquillo,
anymore.
tranquillo. Sono stanco anche io.
A picture of a barn in the fog. I don't think the sun ever shines here in Hicksville. An old telephone, like the ones they used here in Europe at the beginning of the century. More like towards the end of the century for Willow Creek. I don't think that's part of the exhibition. Cleaner, a mop, brush, cloths, soap, glass cleaner. What should I do with that? There's just that big book in the cabinet. What does it say on the plate? Gordon Family Chronicle. Hey, that might be interesting. This page is full of medals. But there's a bit of text there too. And therefore our brotherhood should operate in the spirit of this great man for all time. It shall serve beyond the dominion of the church, free of all the conventions, and over and above all earthly jurisdiction. Commit yourselves only to your one aim, that you may take control of that higher power. Our great strength lies in our secrecy. We stand in the darkness, in the shadows, and look into the light, invisible to all who may impede us. For if no one knows we exist, then we cannot be stopped. Therefore, my brothers, hold to these rules. The members of the order shall not be known to one another. Only the high priest of the order shall be able to call every member by name and rank. At order assemblies, every brother shall be masked so that none may recognize him. No outsider may be informed by the order, neither purposely nor through carelessness. Be wary, my brothers. Behave inconspicuously, but be wary. The day on which you must prove yourselves will come sooner than you think. Not very fruitful. I still don't know what the Order's aim is, but it seems to be one single big aim. It's gotta be on the pages before these. I've gotta get that chronicle somehow.
Ok.
The lock for the cabinet. The lock for the cabinet. The lock for the cabinet.
La campana.
What does it say here? The death bell of Warm Hill Church. I guess the church doesn't exist anymore. Otherwise the bell
Oppure ha
would be
cambiato le
here.
campane.
An ancient sewing machine. I bet they sewed the curtains here with it, and then just left the thing standing where it was.
Ah, così? Ok.
shredding machine? What's that all about? Shredded machine from the garden of Black Mirror Castle. Who do the mysterious traces of blood on the inside of the shredding machine belong to? What kind of gruesome stories could this machine tell us about its former owner? In what kind of bloodthirsty crime did it play an incisive role? A mystery that will probably never be solved.
Forte.
BS. The madman Samuel Gordon murdered the respected Dr. Heinz Herman in a bloody frenzy. He decapitated the popular doctor in his own home, near to the village. This seems to be about the murder of a boy. The youngest victim of the series of murders was the 12-year-old Vic V. He was brutally murdered at a stone circle in the forest, not far from the village. Here are some pictures of the stone circle. Witness accounts, a statement from the police, newspaper clippings. It looks like people assumed it was a ritual murder at first. Heavy metal Satanists in murderous frenzy.
Questo posto dov'è che venivamo uccisi dal lupo qua? Infatti quando uscivamo, ci scappavamo indietro, non mettevamo la cosa, eravamo morti. Questa invece è la fontana. A quel punto arrivavamo qua, era la fontana, naturalmente si morì, cioè c'era morto il giardiniere. E qua invece era quello rituale.
The pictures show farmers at work in the fields. Apart from that,
Comprendo.
I can't
A
see
volte anche a
anything
me capita
interesting.
degli incubi che mi alzano, fanno dormire.
Huh. What's that? An escritoire without a lock puzzle. It's gotta be an old model. An endlessly long history of Willow Creek. Let's see. Willow Creek's underworld. The village of Willow Creek was founded during the time of the ancient Romans. Even back then, the river often broke its banks, turning the surrounding area into marshland. A few years after the foundations were laid, a small drainage system was constructed, which managed to alleviate the problem for many centuries. In the Middle Ages, the drainage system fell into despair and was largely forgotten. However, in the year 1867, Werner Gordon ordered the construction of a completely new drainage system in order to put a stop to the growing number of floods and resultant crop failures. This made it possible to keep the parts of the surrounding area dry and prevent the river from flooding again. Next to it is a little illustration of where the water's redirected when the level gets too high. And what's that? There's an old bunker from the Second World War here, too, directly connected to the drainage system.
Ok.
Sounds quite unpleasant.
Valeriano è molto utile.
I'm not gonna touch it,
Ok.
unlike the hordes of tourists before me. Excuse me. Hi. I've just arrived in Willow Creek. Have you got any tips for me? Is there anything worth seeing?
Are you also a tourist?
Yes. You could say that.
Well, we actually wanted to take a look at the notorious sanatorium today, but some kind of freak has made a hotel out of it, and the guy at the reception tried to pawn us off with some cheap tourist rubbish. Like we were thrill seekers.
Exactly, Albert. And then he said that the ghost of this Samuel Gordon still haunts the castle. You can see him at night at the windows of the burned wing. Really spooky.
Laughable. Anyway, we came here afterwards. We'd expected a bit more from a black museum. We'll go and see the castle afterwards. Hopefully, that's at least worth looking at.
Thanks for the information. Well,
Ok.
enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Thank you, you too.
Una sedia alta.
I wouldn't know it. I'm not sure if this chair is supposed to be for exhausted or knowledge-hungry visitors. It's certainly not sturdy.
Mi sa che qui, a parte visionare due cose, ci fermiamo. Purtroppo sono un po' stanchino. Quindi salva e ci fermiamo qua. Ok. Quindi io vi ringrazio tantissimo di essere passati di qua a passare un po' di horror. Abbiamo fatto proprio due cose minime indispensabili, però almeno siamo andati anche avanti. Vi ricordo che cosa? Vi ricordo comunque, domani mattina, se ho recuperato le energie, continuiamo con Subnautica. E non mi ricordo più che cosa dovevamo fare, ma suppongo che lo faremo bene. Poi, domani pomeriggio continuiamo con Watch Dogs 2 e poi domani sera tutti dai Control M. Ok? Adesso vi lascio dal Control M più acuto di sempre, che compie 4 anni di canale. Bene? Notte.